Hello, and welcome to the video, although short it might be. I'm going to document this new plant real quick. First look at it. And I'm going to go ahead and start up here with the blooms. Got two blooms open, one opening. Okay. Didn't close the computer. Great. So there's the two blooms open, one opening, and we got 5 or 6 two open. Tips can be a little bit tricky, but 5 or 6 to open still, provided they don't blast. They had a long car ride, so we will see. I like them. Get kind of a focus here without much of anything else. That's why I'm doing it. But that purple on yellow basically is what we've got. A deep purple lip. Let me film this one. This is a little easier to keep boxes and things out of. Little dog. Yeah. It's hard to get around there to that one too. Anyway, you know what? Don't be stupid, just turn the plant. Okay. Yeah. Purple on yellow with the lip. It's basically what we've got. So there's the blooms. Moving down to the plant, we got a nick there. I don't think I need to worry about that. It seems like it just got cut. Has dried. Should be fine. And then we've got a broken leaf here. I don't know how well that's going to do. But it too should, it might die back to that cut. But other than that, I think it'll probably be okay. I don't think we're going to get an infection or anything. So we've got 1, 2, 3. It's pretty easy. 6 leaves. 2 of them with damage. And then if I look at the pot, I've got good roots. Looks like it's been watered. Maybe a week ago. 3 or 4 days ago, it's had some water. But I still see evidence of its last watering. But just loads of roots. And they look good. The roots look good. So I don't think I'm going to worry too much. I do see some, fertilizer on the bark. Where am I going with the phone? But the bark feels okay. You can see it's got that white though. White bits to it. So I think what I'm going to do is knock over that seagull or whatever it is. I think I'm going to go ahead, because the bark is firm, but it's got that fertilizer bits. A little soft. Doesn't seem to smell. No, it doesn't smell. So I think I'm going to go ahead, let the blooms do what they will, and then when the blooms are gone, at least, which might be a couple of days, um, it had kind of a chilly ride. We got a late start, and then we didn't get back until after dark, and it had a bit of a chilly ride. And then when I mentioned it, the heat got turned up, which I wasn't thinking when I opened my mouth. It sounds like a chilly ride. We should do something for the plant. Yeah, it would have been better not to do anything, but it was only for the last 5 or 10 minutes. Um, and either way, um, if the temperature change caused the buds to blast, or if they were going to blast anyway, it really doesn't matter, because if the plant survives, it should bloom again. Um, Although I don't have the drastic temperature change from winter and summer, and because I was just, yeah, the trailer had no insulation. Not when you've got a wall. The whole wall is like 2 inches thick. How much insulation can you have? So we'll see. I don't know. The tag. The tag is hilarious. I really do have a tag in my hands, but you're never going to be able to read that. I'm never going to be able to focus in on it so you can read it. So I will read reblooming. During winter months, place your phalaenopsis on a north-facing window ledge with no direct sun for 30 to 45 days or until new stem begins. Orchid temp must drop to 58 to 60 Fahrenheit to force new flower stem. Once stem begins, place in normal temperatures for growing. Well, that is more or less what I would do. The old environment got down when I still had, some control. It was getting down to 60 if I left the heat on all night. So, yeah, this room is not going to drop down to 60. I don't think I could get it to drop to 60 if I placed a freezer in the middle of the room and left the door open 24 hours a day. I don't think I could get this room to 60. I mean, yes, I could leave windows open, 24/7 and not have heat. Yeah, sure. That's funny, but I don't want to talk too much about the house's abilities or lack of abilities, pros, cons. I don't want to talk too much about that in videos. So, other than that, I don't know how much of a drop I can get. We'll see. We'll see if these guys will rebloom. But for now, that's what I was doing, is just I wanted to get a document of how the plant arrived, and we will see how these blooms do. As far as what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to let the blooms, the bark looks like it's got a lot of fertilizer in it, but other than that, it's relatively firm, doesn't have an odor, and the roots, at least the roots around the edge, appear to be good, and there's enough of them. So I'm going to let the flowers do what they will. When they're done, I will take it out of the pot and see if it will transfer over into water culture. But these plants, all of them, as you know, share that water. I don't know if this plant has, say, fusarium. I'm not gonna. It will try to take out your plant either way, so you might as well use the name. I don't know if it has fusarium or some other problem it could transfer to my other plants. So I will run it through a quarantine. Not very many fish in there. Anyway, I will run it through a quarantine, which is perfect. Because the quarantine is basically going to be... This isn't clear. It's the decorative pot that it came in. But there's... Hello, no hole down there. So this is how it's going to get its partial water culture, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be done in this decorative pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the water level, and it's not clear, which might be a slight problem. I don't see it being much of a problem. And it will get its water that way. So it's going to be like anybody else's water culture, but I'm going to bring the tubing for that air pump that you seen in the other video, and my water culture is going to have air, just like the aquarium. So the only real difference is it's not going to be in a clear jar or vase, which people tend to do so that they can just look into it and see the roots. They can get light from the top. Everything will be more or less the same. I do things differently, for sure. And then it will have its partial water culture, but for about a year, it will be that way so it can be quarantined from the other plants. Basically, a quarantine aquarium for any fish people out there. I'm going to quarantine it from the other plants for a year. And, if it's doing well in a year, still alive, growing, everything's fine in a year, maybe a little longer, then it can come in and just share water with everybody else. But everybody else I've had for years. And they all seem healthy, with the exception of the problem child. So who knows, maybe that's got fusarium and everybody's got fusarium. But that's the plan. I'm sticking to it. Or at least I should stick to it. Seems like a good plan. But we will see how it goes. Talk to you next time.